Happy Saturday to everybody. You know, I was talking with a buddy of mine, the great and mysterious Gan Man, and we were just sitting there having a little conversation about, possibilities. And, I really sat down and kind of just looked at the charts for a few minutes, and I was like, you know what? Why don't we map out some of the possibilities? That's what we were talking about. I'm going to keep this in log. Sure, arithmetic obviously looks a hell of a lot different. Okay. But I'm going to keep it in log for this. So, and I'm specifically going to talk about just Ethereum. There's some possibilities that exist that sure we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does that look right to anybody? I mean, that's the 2. This is the 4. Okay. Maybe. Okay, maybe. Personally, I'm not seeing it. I don't think that this in the amount of time is correct for this. It just doesn't feel right to me. It's never felt right. Now, I would be a fan of saying 1, 2, 3, 4. I would be fine in that. So that's what we're going to kind of talk about for a minute. So as we see, we've tagging the 382. This, I believe, is a monthly level that is sitting here. We were playing around it and held it. And sure looks like we did get an impulse off this low. Maybe you can fake it a little bit and come up with a zigzag in there. But man, just look at it as it sits right now. I don't know who, frankly, with the way that looks, is going to tell me that that's a 3-wave move. I'm just, what, you're going to expect me to believe that's the 3-wave move? I just don't see it. Could be wrong, of course. Anybody's can be wrong on anything. But, as I said, we did come down here and hold this monthly level. I think it's a monthly level. Is it a monthly level? Yes, that's a monthly level that we held. Bitcoin hasn't hit its monthly level yet. So I wanted to just talk about some ideas for just a minute. Personally, my fan favorite is the fact that we've had 1, 2, 3 expanded flat into a 4, and we still have a 5th left to go that could take us up here somewhere. Let's get rid of lines. It's entirely possible that we're looking for somewhere up here. It's just because of time. Let's say it's up here. Okay. There's always 2 ways to see where your 5th is going to be. That doesn't work for me, so that's why I'm measuring it like this. I always find for some reason that this way for measuring where the 5th is going to be is the better way. And we should be looking, somewhere in this zone between the 618 and the 50. So anywhere from 6,800 to call it 11,000. Just depends on how bullish you get, right? So the first idea, of course, would be that we have this left to go. Maybe that was a little too nutty. Maybe we still have this left to go. There's our impulse to finish. And to me, that would look great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It looks good. Looks like an impulse. Makes me happy. This, just not done yet. I just don't feel like it's done. So, that's one possibility we've got going on right now. Let's say for a minute we're not as bullish as we want to be. Or maybe something else is going on, right? Something bigger, can't see it, don't know. So I just wanted you to be aware of some other possibilities. Let's kind of zoom in a little bit here, or just make it bigger. All right. So I personally have this count. Some might not love it, but from the highs, from here, I've got a zigzag into an A. I've got another zigzag into a B, and then an expanding ending diagonal for a C wave. I have been over this count more times than I care to admit. And this is the only way that I can count it. It's the only way that I can count it, that I can account for all the waves, I can count for the moves, I can count for the fibs. It's everything. So with that being said, that kind of lends its hand to the fact that we're going to come up here, to the 10, that area that I had mentioned before, 68 to 10, 11, something like that. But let's be aware of some other possibilities. Let's say for a minute we have had an A, B, and a C to the downside. At this point, let's just pretend that we've had a three-wave move. Let's say this was the high. So the first possibility is we bottomed. Well, I don't necessarily think we've bottomed, because if we look at Ethereum previously, and granted we don't always have to repeat, but 94% retracement, okay? Pretty sharp move, right? We've had a pretty sharp move. Well, as of yet, we have only dropped 81%. So it's possible that there's still some more to go. 94%, if we, let's just say we do it again. 94 puts us all the way down here. Let's call it $250, okay? Hella support down here, okay? But it's all the way down there. So I don't think this is necessarily the bottom. It's only the bottom if this is a wave 4 complete. Maybe this is a, I don't know, let's look at this. Let's take a look at this again. Maybe it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. That I would believe. But this is still a three-wave move for a 4. Okay? And granted, I'm not diving in lower time frames. Who cares at this point? We're just looking at the macro. Either way, this would still be our 4. Now, some possibilities that exist here. So here's our first possibility. Let's get rid of this here. If this decides to play with us, we're going to put this in white here, this zigzag down. If this decides to mess with us, we could have a three-wave move down for an A. We could be heading up for a flat. Now, the flat could stop 90 to 100%, something like that. We could basically do this. This is still technically a flat. What calls it a flat is the fact that this would be a 5-wave move. The C would have to be a 5-wave move. The difficultness here is that there's another move that looks damn near identical to it that we're not going to know what it is until it's done. I'll get to that in a minute. We could also have an expanded flat, which we would be looking here, here, here. We just can't break this. We can't break 28,000. Are we going to 28,000? No, I don't think so. Not right now. I could see anywhere from in this zone right here. That'd be a lot of fun to get all the way up there. Get everybody the opportunity to unload their bags, sell everything out, and we get a 5-wave move to the downside, coming right back to where we've just been when we can reload again. Giving me a warm and fuzzy feeling just thinking about how awesome that would be. So that's our first possibility, an expanded flat. Okay, so again, we'd be looking for some sort of a three-wave move in here. Now, keep in mind, I don't do anything with time, so, but this then would have to be a five-wave move down. Okay, that's how we're going to know. Now, there's some things that I consider for this move, for the expanded flat idea. We've already at this point done, okay, the third is going to have to be here, a fourth and a fifth. And that just doesn't seem, there's not enough room. There's not enough room here to get a zigzag out of this, in my opinion. If this is a 1 and this is a 2, we're not going to have enough room to actually complete a zigzag. Now, could this be an A and a B and a C? Well, sure, but the C would normally end here at about the 1618, the 1272, the 1-to-1. We would not make an expanded flat if the A wave is already in. It just won't happen. So, as much as I like the idea of this, the current price action is just telling me there's not enough room to actually complete it. Now, maybe there will be. Maybe we'll get this ludicrously long C wave. There's no rule as far as how long a C could go. Frankly, it could go up to the 2618. I mean, there's no real rule about it. We would like to see some sort of A and C being equal, like a 1-to-1 or 1272. We'd also like to see it channel properly, and the channel right now would dictate here. Okay, so again, don't necessarily think the flat is on the table at the moment. So let's look at the next possibility. So we're going to skip this one and go to this one. Okay, this one is the one that can be tricky because it's going to get everybody super bullish. This would be a sideways double combo. Okay, so this would be a W. We'd come three-wave move up for the X, three-wave move for the Y. All right. Now, in this case, we need it to come up to about 90%. It would get everybody bullish as hell. Everybody would be expecting that we're going to run and, we're going to go new highs, blah, 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 blah. And suddenly we're going to get shit on. It's a possibility. Would this still be a 4? In the macro vision, and in this vision here, 1, 2, 3, 4, could it be? Yeah, but we're getting outside the realm of, the look. Okay, the look's not right. So I'd have to say that on the macro scale, something else is going on. Possibly a wave 2, who knows? This one does kind of work when we start looking at, what are our fibs? 1618, when we get a longer zigzag than normal, I would say. The 1618 is a great, target. It is right at the 90% marker as well, which is what we need for a sideways double combo. Okay, so we would expect then this to rise, and then we would expect this. Either way, fantastic opportunity once again to sell your bags and drop. Okay. But this can be confused with a flat, because a flat has got to reach that 90-100% area, the first possibility we just looked at. But the only way that you're going to know it's a flat versus a sideways double is the fact that it would be a 3-wave move coming down or a 5-wave move coming down. In the 5-wave move, it would have to be a C, which means we had a flat. Now maybe we're talking semantics here. Maybe it doesn't really matter. Point is that you would be looking, if we're in a flat or a sideways double, you'd be looking down, but right back to where we came from. Okay, call it back to 89, 890, or even a little bit lower. We could go lower than that. We could, do some craziness. All right, so let's drop that option off the table. Next. For a sharp double zigzag, this is our next possibility. Typically the 382, the 50 is where we would see the X come to. X can be a zigzag, it can be a triangle, hell, it can be anything. This could drag on for months and be an X wave. But let's just say we come up here to the 50, okay? This one, the idea would be that, the 1-to-1 is higher than the 50. And typically we don't want to see it, a sideways double I'm sorry, a sharp double zigzag, it likes the 382 to the 50. So if we're starting to cross the 50 heading up to the golden zone, could it still be a sharp double zigzag as this is looking? Well, sure. I suppose it can. We can come up here into this resistance where the golden zone is, and we can then make the dive. Okay? But still a little kooky for me. Now, this kind of a pattern here, let's say if we did this, makes sense to me in a way, because let's say if we did top, we're looking for 94% again, let's just say 94, 95, whatever. That is down here. This is where the algo target for the 50 and for the golden zone would be, is down here. This is the second algo target. There's a hella support down here, a lot of support. And now we're getting more into that 93% retracement level. Okay? So it makes sense that this could be one of the viable options. Okay? If I was a betting person, I would say that out of the 3 possibilities that we've discussed here, I'm going to be honest with you and say that I think that this fifth is not complete. I would say the white count is what we're about to do. It gives us enough room. Fibs don't have any issues with retracement levels. I think it's very possible that we come up here, get this third, come down, the fourth comes back, retests the all-time high, and we get one more little move up for it. To me, honestly, it seems to make the most sense. So there's your 2618 possibility for the third, which would put the third at 9216. When we take our larger measurement here of where the fifth could be, well, okay, we're up there pretty good. We're up there pretty good, but we can come up here to the 618 for the fifth. This, to me, would seem like the ultimate move that we have left. We've been dicking around sideways for a long time now. Or, well, it's not really been sideways. It's been more of just a free fall. But I think it's very possible that we still have this fourth into this fifth left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, however you want to count it, 5. I want to take that line back off. I still think that's a possibility. And just looking at the move itself, that's a beautiful impulse. Perfect. Look over here what we did previously. 1, 2, 3, triangle into the 4, got the fifth. If this was wave 1, we should be expecting this next move to be much bigger. I mean, if that is wave 1 right there, all of it, this would then be like wave 1 of wave 3. Okay, so in the larger view. Let's get rid of this stuff. Let's just hide this. If you have any questions on these 3 different moves here, real quick, just post them down in the comments and I'll answer. But this is what I can see happening, these different levels. Okay, so let's go ahead and hide these for a minute. If we've got another impulse going on, we need to then come down for another wave 2. Right, maybe now we come down, back down to this area again, and we ride for the third of the third. So, anyway, those are just kind of my thoughts behind what's going on at the moment. Now, the accounts that I have posted before with Ethereum where we make another drop and we come down to here, like in my last video, it's still a possibility. I'm not liking it at the moment. This move has certainly thrusted a lot more than I thought it was going to. But it's still a possibility. And that is this idea right here. Let me get some of this garbage off here. That is this idea right here. It's very possible we've topped out at this point. This is not even really worth counting. I hate the length of the C compared to the A. just doesn't work. To me, this seems like an impulse in action here. In order for my count to be valid, we cannot cross that point right there. So we cannot cross, call it 1675. We can't cross it. And frankly, it feels like we're going to, without a doubt. So anyway, I think my vote out of all of these possibilities is the white one. Now, maybe we don't get such a huge third. Maybe it doesn't go to the 2618. Maybe it goes only 1618. Maybe it's this. Either way, this is what feels like is happening to me. Is the fifth, the last hoorah. Then we're going to go into a bear market like we haven't seen in a while. I think this drop here that we've had, frankly, I mean, when did it start here? This is November 20 of 21 to June of 22. I mean, it wasn't very long. Let's put it that way. It just wasn't very long. I think this is a 4. Regardless if you want to count this as a flat or a zigzag, I don't care. I think it's a 4. I think we're going to move up in this pattern. The flat doesn't quite work for me. The sideways double doesn't quite work for me given the rest of the price action that we've had up to this point, and something even bigger. Now, I will say this. Let's back out for just a second. If this happened, I would actually be refining my count to this, which is definitely a possibility, but I would be very much so refining my count to that. Okay, so it would end up being 1, 2, 1, 2. Now we're going into a massive third. Okay, so this third is just going to be off the chart ludicrous. Okay, so if we've got to make, let me go back and let me restate my two possible options. Either we need to come up here and finish the fifth of this entire move. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 1, 2. And if it's either one of them, frankly, I will take. I personally, right now, I'd love to see us actually make this run up to 9, 10, 11, somewhere around there. That's what I'd love to see. Then give us another bear market. Considering, though, that we are already, let's just call it the halfway marker, this would be fantastic as well, because we could load up down here at these prices. Because frankly, if we kept going up, well, we would see these prices again no matter what. But either one of these I will take. Okay? Either one I will take. I think I'd rather see it come all the way up, finish a nice clean impulse, and then give us a move down. That's what the first one did. Granted, it's just the first one, but either way. So just a quick recap. My two thought process now behind this is 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go up for the fifth, or it's going to end up being 1, 2, 1, 2. Now there's some channeling guidelines we got to make sure that we stick to with this. So, but who knows? Anyway, I just want to give some quick thoughts as to where I think we're going on the macro scale. I sure would like to see us complete this impulse up. I have never felt that we were complete. Never felt it. So, anyway, everyone, you have a great day. Enjoy yourselves. Personally, I'm just relaxing at home, having a good time. Take care. If you got any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. Come stop by TDU. Check us out. Learn some Elliott Wave. Take care, guys. Enjoy your Saturday.